why are almost every single Republican I'm aware of, other than you and maybe Massey, is like in this weird kind of Israel worship mode all the time. And many Democrats, by the way, Pelosi, chief among them. What is that?
So when a candidate steps forward and they're running for Congress, they get approached by all kinds of groups, all the special issue groups, everything from pro-life groups to pro-gun groups to Christian groups. And there's a group called AIPAC, and they come too. And so they'll have a survey form for you to fill out. Each group has a survey form because they want to know where you are on the issues, which I think is a good thing. I think Second Amendment groups need to know, hey, are you going to take away my gun rights? I think that's the right thing to be asking candidates. Pro-life groups, are you going to go to Washington and vote to kill babies? Like, we want to know who you are. I think that's great. Well, there's a group called AIPAC, and they come and they want to know what's your position on Israel, and they want you to write a paper, and they want to fill you out on your position on Israel. And then if you get elected to Congress, if you win your race, everyone's freshman year, AIPAC will take Republicans and Democrats, new members, on a special trip to Israel.
Do they pay for it?
I don't know. Because they didn't take me. Were
you the only one in your class who didn't go?
I think I'm the only one in my class that did not get invited. I didn't even get invited. It wasn't that I turned it down. I didn't even get invited. And I'm not anti-Semitic. I wish Israel the best. I wish them all the best. I wish everybody the best. But they didn't take me on the trip.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, but they didn't take me on the trip, so I don't know if they pay for it, but I should find that out because I think that's important. But here's the situation, and it can't be ignored, and I have no problem talking about it. I think any special interest group, if they are representing another country, a foreign country, they have to register that way.
Under the Foreign Agent Registration Act, FARA.
We have a law. Yes, they should register under that law. And I think, and their Americans are members of AIPAC. They're members, they donate to it.
Well, sure.
But if you're still an American and you were representing the interest of any foreign country, you still have to register.
Paul Manafort's an American. He's from Connecticut. I think he's from like Meriden, Connecticut or something. Weathersfield, Connecticut. He's from Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And he was convicted as an American for not registering as a foreign agent, as a foreign lobbyist. So, I mean, the argument that it's Americans doing the lobbying, that's the point. Americans who are lobbying on behalf of a foreign country have to register. Doesn't mean they can't lobby. It's just it's fair to have them register.
Yes.
So why isn't AIPAC registered? Why aren't they registered under FARA? I don't understand that.
I think everybody's too afraid to push that issue.
Why?
Tucker, I have no idea. Because I think it's because it's such a strong group that will come against you. They will come against you. They will fund a primary against you. I'll probably get a primary funded against me for even saying this on this show. But you know what? I don't care.
I think you were getting one anyway.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm probably getting one. And that's fine. And my district can vote for whoever they want to represent them. They can.
It's just funny. It's like you and Massey are the only member, and the whole class, Republicans are the majority of the House of Representatives.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of 435.
Yeah, both sides.
Well, 535 with the Senate. And I still think you and Massey are the only ones who've ever said anything like this.
I'm sure. I'm sure we're the only ones. We're not the only ones that think it, but we're the only ones that say it.
So that's my next question.
But it's not anti-Semitic to say it.
Well, obviously. That's
because
silly.
I had a group coming to me and saying, we really want to make sure that you're voting to fund $3.3 billion, every single year to Switzerland. Exactly. That would be the same thing.
I love Switzerland. I have ancestors who came from Switzerland. And I go a lot. It's just an amazing country. I couldn't support it more. I wish Switzerland well, as I wish Israel well. But if there were, maybe there is, a Swiss lobby, I would, it probably is. I'm sure there is.
There's every kind of lobby.
Right. They don't need the help, I guess. But neither is Israel really, but I would expect them to register under the law.
Of course. And
I
they
wouldn't be an
probably
anti-Swiss bigot. for saying otherwise. So I guess I don't really want to play along, but I'm wondering, this is all so very obvious and so rational and so relevant right now. Does anybody ever mention this in the Congress? I mean, you've been there for a while.
No, they have their blind faith and loyalty. And they're scared to say it.
What about the guy who showed up in a foreign military uniform?
Zelensky.
Well, there's that. Well, yeah, they worship. But by the way, I just want to be clear. It's not just Israel that they worship. They also worship Zelensky.
Oh, they worship him. Oh, my goodness. They worship him.
Well, that's a clear.
But you should see the propaganda. I could go for days on that one. I went hard against that war. That war started, and it wasn't a month after that war started, and we had Ukrainian soldiers in their uniforms, injured Ukrainian soldiers on crutches.
Tight-fitting uniforms, because a lot of this is...
Limping through the halls of Congress, going and visiting our offices, begging for help. We need help. Hitler is going to come and take our country and steamroll across Europe, Vladimir Putin. But that was the thing. Yeah. But so we get... the propaganda that comes through the halls of Congress is incredible. It's incredible.
But do you ever sit in the House and ever have someone say, "We're voting on our 22nd Israel resolution"? Like this is a lot, actually.
I did finally.
But does anybody ever say again? Like,
no,
we have a country too. 350 million people live here. No one ever says that.
No.
So Nancy Mace is like, she's just excited to vote for another.
Yes.
So it's not just, everyone talks about AIPAC. I've already said I think they should register under FARA. It's a foreign lobby.
It's common sense.
Not attacking them.
It's not even saying anything bad about them. They just should be registered.
It's insulting, of course.
And they can continue
that everyone's afraid to say that. You shouldn't be afraid.
No.
But it's not just, there's something, like, what is this? This, I think, is the weirdest thing. Brian Mast shows up in an IDF uniform in the Congress. I don't know Brian Mast. I'm sure he's a delightful person, but like... Are you allowed to show up in a foreign military uniform in the Congress? What do you think of when you think of June? Pride Month, of course. Just kidding. Pride is a sin, actually. Getting rid of pride is the goal. In fact, June is the month of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And our friends at the Hallow app are celebrating accordingly. They're dedicating the entire month to praising the Son of God, and you're invited to join them. Enjoy a deep dive into God's love with daily prayer experiences, including the great Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus himself on The Chosen and recently joined the show. Had a wonderful dinner with him, which we're still talking about in my house. During these meditations, you'll reflect on the faith's most transformative stories and get to the point, which is to build your relationship with God. It's hard to imagine a better way to spend your time. Again, we love it in our house. It is a never-ending topic of conversation. So join us and millions of others experiencing the love, grace, and mercy and peace that only Jesus can bring you. If you don't believe it, try it. Get 3 months free right now at hallow.com/Tucker.
I don't think it's, it's like waving a foreign flag on the floor.
But they're all over the place.
But he served over there in the IDF. Yeah.
How can an American serve in a foreign military and keep his citizenship?
I have no idea. It's the same thing as how can foreign-born people serve and be members of Congress? I don't understand how that happens.
But serving in a foreign military, that's pretty serious.
Yes. You swear an oath and you swear your allegiance to fight and die for that country. You're saying, I'm willing to die for this country, but then you can serve in our country's Congress.
But how can you remain a citizen? If I go and serve in the Russian army, I assume.
Yeah.
I have no plans to. I'm not Russian.
No.
I don't want to. But if I did, I think people would say fairly, like, how can you be an American? Don't you forfeit your citizenship by doing that?
People would say, yeah, they definitely would come.
Well, of course, I'd go to jail for it.
Yeah. But, the New York Post mocked me and called me Moscow Marjorie and put it on their front page because I didn't want to vote to fund Ukraine. So clearly.
Moscow Marjorie.
Yeah, Moscow Marjorie. Yeah.
Funny, the New York any Murdoch publication is just agnostic on most things, but really pro-war.
Oh, they love war.
Yeah.
Well, they love it. It helps their ratings. It keeps all the baby boomers glued to the television.
Yeah.
24 hours a day because they're terrified that bombs are going to fall on America. something terrible is going to happen. You have to keep up with it. Funniest thing to me, Tucker, was how come, okay, look, our country funded that war in Ukraine, funded it. And our military leaders ran that war. They have been all about that war. We fund their government. We fund their retirement. We have funded their small businesses. The American people, tragically, have kept Ukraine afloat. But how come we couldn't watch that war on television? And I say that sarcastically because I think it's ridiculous. We could watch the Israel and Iran launching bombs at each other and exploding in their cities and people's reactions and the nonstop commentary and counting missiles and how many missiles they shot down. But we never saw that with Ukraine and Russia. And I want to know why. Why didn't we see that?
Well, now we don't see it. I asked a bunch of members of Congress, including the Speaker of the House, disgraceful person, in my opinion, Mike Johnson, but so you funded this war with billions of our dollars. We're bankrupt, but you're paying for this war because you love the Ukrainians so much. How many Ukrainians have died? No clue. Not interested. They're not interested. Really, you're funding the war because you love the Ukrainians, but you're not even keeping track of how many of its young men have died, or now middle-aged men have died.
How many fathers, how many brothers?
Yeah, how many people with Down syndrome? How many Ukrainians with Down syndrome were pulled off the street and sent to go die in a war that you were paying for? They don't care.
No.
That's when I thought, I'm kind of out.
Oh, totally out on that. But it's an interesting comparison. Why can you watch one on TV and you can't watch the other one on TV? And I don't know the answer to that.
Well, you should be able to watch whatever you want on TV, right?
Supposedly.
Pull up pornography on your iPhone. You probably should be able to watch a war that you're paying for.
Right. But isn't that just like, why is that?
Well,
why do Americans have to be shown that Israel is about to be annihilated? And what are the consequences of that to America if Israel is annihilated? No, wait, let's say it like this. Nuclear armed Israel. Why do we have to be shown on TV 24 hours a day, nuclear armed Israel being bombed and attacked? And why do we have to be fed that when we're not fed that about any other war anywhere else?
We're being manipulated. That's why.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.